Welcome to this special news brief edition of The Explainer, where we're breaking down a stunning new development in the world of technology.
Okay, let's just dive right into the numbers because they're pretty wild. A huge new app, Sora for Android, went from just a simple prototype all the way to a global launch in only 28 days. Yeah, you heard that right.
And get this, it wasn't some massive army of developers that pulled this off. It was a super lean, nimble team of just four human engineers. So what happened when it launched? Well, the result was explosive. In the first 24 hours alone, users created over 1 million videos with the app. 1 million. It shot straight to #1 in the App Store. So this kind of speed, this quality, it just begs the question, right? How on earth did they do it?
Well, the answer wasn't throwing more people at the problem. Nope, it was a totally different kind of teammate. We're talking about an AI collaborator.
The team's secret weapon? It was an AI agent called Codex. And this isn't some secret proprietary tool, it's a publicly available AI that's specifically designed for software development.
Now here's the crucial part. It's all about how they worked with it. They didn't just treat Codex like some simple tool you press a button on. No, they treated it like a brand new, highly skilled senior engineer who had just joined the team.
And what's really fascinating is how this partnership created this really clear division of labor. You had the humans focusing on the big picture stuff, system architecture, user experience, those strategic decisions that really need human intuition. And then you had the AI handling all the heavy lifting. We're talking about writing all that boilerplate code, creating unit tests, translating between languages, all the grunt work, but done at lightning speed.
But this kind of partnership, it didn't just happen by accident. It really required them to invent a completely new way of working, a whole new playbook for how humans and AI can collaborate to build software. And this is what their process looked like. It basically boiled down to 4 key steps. First, the humans lay the groundwork. They build that strong architectural foundation. Then, step 2, the humans and the AI plan everything out together. Step 3 is where the magic happens. The AI just executes the plan, cranking out tons of code. And finally, step 4, the humans come back in to review, check the quality, and integrate the AI's work into the final product. You can see how this totally shifted the engineers' roles, right? I mean, they weren't just solo players trying to write code faster anymore. They became more like conductors of an orchestra. They were managing all these parallel streams of AI-generated work, making sure every single piece fit together perfectly. Now, one of the AI's biggest superpowers, and this is a real game changer, was its ability to bridge the gap between different platforms. This is what really put the accelerator down on the whole process. So here's how they did it. The team already had the finished code for the Sora iOS app, which was written in a language called Swift. What they did was they basically used Codex like a universal translator. They pointed it at all that iOS code, and the AI was able to understand the core logic. You know, the data models, the network calls, all the business rules. And then, and this is the incredible part, Codex effectively translated all of that logic into a brand new, high-quality Android app. And it did it in a completely different language, Kotlin, all while sticking to the specific architecture the team had already set up. Just amazing. Okay, so what does a breakthrough like this actually mean for the future? I mean, let's be clear. This isn't just a story about one cool app. This is a real glimpse into the next chapter of how software is made. And the key takeaway here, and this is so important, is that this kind of tech doesn't get rid of the need for skilled engineers. Not at all. In fact, it does the opposite. It makes their expertise in things like architecture and systems design more critical than ever. You know, the AI is powerful, but it needs a really strong foundation and clear direction to actually be effective. What it does do is let developers shift their focus. They can move away from the more mundane parts of the job, you know, writing boilerplate code, wiring up endpoints, centering buttons, and instead focus on the really creative, strategic work, the stuff that actually drives innovation and builds incredible products. So the essential skills for an engineer are really changing. It's not just about how fast you can type code anymore. The real superpower of tomorrow's software engineer is going to be that deep systems understanding and, crucially, the ability to work collaboratively with an AI. Look, this whole story just points to a brand new way of creating things. It really leaves you with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it?
If a tiny team of 4 people can pull this off in just 4 weeks, what things that we think are impossible today are going to be built tomorrow?